Hey guys, High Plains Prospectors, Terp, just me and Tucker, the treasure hound, out here today. And we've been doing a lot of morel mushroom hunting. Probably need to be doing more metal detecting, but we're going to be getting out. It's been kind of wet around here lately, and haven't been able to get out and dig as much as we'd like to. So we have been finding a lot of mushrooms, and I went and grabbed this book. I was interested in learning more about the edible mushrooms in Kansas, and really got interested. I'll show what the book is here at the end of the video. But so I'm out in the dog park today, no metal detector in hand. Just got done raining. There's nobody out here, so I had a chance to come out here and poke around without being disturbed and doing a little bit of mushrooming. Now, these aren't necessarily edible mushrooms, but I got a book on how to identify them. And I'm just out kind of looking around, and it is amazing how many I found. I found some of these little red, and they're everywhere, little red cut mushrooms. And I just looked down and saw those, but they're all over. And then there's this really wicked mushroom that's coming up over here. If anybody knows what this is, tell me, because I didn't see anything like this in the book. But it, little slimy, these little nodules growing up, they're everywhere around what I think is a walnut tree. It's cut down. The stump has been painted because we're going to grind it out. But I was out looking around and I saw these crazy looking fungi everywhere, and some of them look similar. Again, that's orange paint. That's not part of the fungus. You can see some old bodies laying around here as well. I thought it was a dog turd, but it's not. And then there's this one that I thought was really interesting. It looks different from the rest. I'm not sure if that's just a different life stage of them or what, but they circle and are growing out of the bark of this stump here. I thought it was really interesting to see all the things you can find when you're out here. What do we have here? Little toad. All kinds of animals out here at the pet ranch. Anyway, thought I might shoot a little video. Who knows if it'll turn into anything, but maybe get a little documentation as to the mushrooms and funguses we're finding on our property, right here in our backyard. And I did not have to go very far to find some more. Now, I think the rule of thumb is with little brown mushrooms, you typically don't eat them. You don't eat anything you can't identify anyway. The different ways to identify these things, and you just follow a bunch of steps. Yeah, it's pretty simple. So I'll take a couple of these back with me and snap a couple pictures and try to identify them. These were just right across from where that stump was. How many more we can find? Another little mushroom I found. It's quite different than that other one. Just gonna set these down here. All right, this is a pretty cool little find. When I first looked down here, I'm like, is that a freaking morel? And it's not, but I think these are, you can see that nasty slime on there. That's like a spore jam or something like that. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but that's how it spreads its spores. It gets on these bugs, they take off, and they go deposit it on the next thing that they land on. This is really wicked. That looks like an egg sac of one. I'm just learning about this stuff, but it's super interesting. And some of these egg sacs of these things are actually edible. There's some right there. So I'm going to probably have to take a sample with me. I may watch these develop. I think that'll be interesting. It's really cool. There's a couple that are older and dead. And we are under an elm tree. A walnut. So maybe ratty. It's pretty cool. I'm going to leave those here, I think. just come back. There's another one. And those things kind of smell. We'll pull this one up. You know, smells kind of like a rotten mushroom. It's really cool how much stuff is out here, really. Oh man, I broke my little, I had a perfect specimen of one of these little cup mushrooms too, but I broke it. There's plenty of them. There's some right there. That's really neat. Gosh. Now I can see these egg sacs come up soft. Just gonna burst out with a couple of these. Look at these monsters. Wow. Oh, there's a whole bunch of eggs right there. Boy, those smell like rotten mushrooms. This is so cool. You know, this is the first time I've really ever taken a moment to come out here and actually look for different types of mushrooms. You know, but the first day I've done it, I've come up with a half a dozen really interesting specimens. Man, I'd like to put a still frame camera on that. There's another one. These things are all over here. There's some more about ready to pop up. Some more. Wow. You know, if somebody didn't know any better, they might mistake that for a morel. I don't know who would eat that nasty thing though. Pretty old. That's pretty cool. Look over to my left and there's some more little brown mushrooms. I think let's see. I have one of those already. You know, it's good to learn the uses of these mushrooms and funguses. You know, passing them up out in nature when you're hungry, you need a meal, you're passing up your chance for survival. Bunch of rhubarb out here, which is also edible. This is actually called lamb's quarter. You can see the water bubbling up on it, off of it. You can see this powder in there that actually kind of causes, it's a kind of a coating on this whole plant that just causes the water to beat up and drip off. But you can tell it's what it is because you flip it over and you wipe the bottom of the leaf and you'll see that there's like a kind of a greenish white powder. There's a good example of one. On the young leaves it's more prominent. That's also an edible. You see that powder now, I just wiped it off. That's apparently the protein. So that plant is really high in protein. Apparently it's similar to a Swiss chard. You can eat it in salads. Pretty good stuff. Rhubarb right there. I haven't walked 10 yards. Alright, so I got back here, got a couple specimens with me, and you know, I was thinking that these stinkhorns had some sort of edibility. I was reading this book. It is The Guide to Kansas Mushrooms by Bruce Horn, Richard Kay, and Dean Abel, and it is a darn good book. I mean, it's actually a good read. These guys are pretty funny in here too. It keeps you interested. It makes it clear and concise as to what you're looking for, and I believe that this is just kind of a common stinkhorn, basically is what they call it. Phallus hadriani, I guess I'm pronouncing that right, but apparently in the egg form, which I got some video of earlier, they're actually edible. I'll look into that and maybe blog about it or something, but there's a whole crop of them over there, so you know, if you're starving, you pluck some of those eggs up there and you'd be good to go. All right, and the little cup mushrooms here, I believe are Sarcocyphia occidentalis, not edible. Really what I care about is edibility. Check these other ones out. I don't think they're edible, but thought they were kind of interesting to look up anyway.